Things just went from zero to chaos real quick. After joint American and Israeli strikes on Iran, Tehran fired back hard, launching missiles and drones across the region. Iran's Revolutionary Guard basically said, "We're not done," warning that every U.S. base and interest in the Middle East is now within reach. And yeah, things started blowing up. Reports of explosions came in from Kuwait, the UAE, Bahrain, and Qatar. In Bahrain, the U.S. Fifth Fleet Service Center was reportedly hit. Witness videos showed thick smoke rising over the coastline while sirens screamed in the background. Over in Abu Dhabi, people described hearing multiple loud booms in quick succession, windows shaking near the Corniche, explosions reported in Al Dhafra and Al Bateen. This wasn't background noise. This was serious. Qatar claimed it intercepted all incoming missiles. Officials said U.S.-made Patriot defense systems shot down at least one Iranian missile. That's huge considering Qatar hosts Al Udeid Air Base, the biggest U.S. military facility in the region. The UAE confirmed one person was killed after debris from intercepted missiles fell into a residential area in Abu Dhabi. Authorities called it a blatant attack and a dangerous escalation, saying they reserve the full right to respond. Translation: this isn't over. Saudi Arabia quickly backed the Gulf states, condemning Iran's actions and pledging full support. Meanwhile, over in Israel, air raid sirens echoed across Jerusalem after Israel, and the U.S. carried out coordinated strikes on Iranian targets earlier in the day. The Israeli military said they detected a barrage of missiles launched from Iran. Explosions were also reported near Iran's Karg Island, a critical oil export hub where nearly 90% of Iran's crude passes through the Strait of Hormuz. That's a major global choke point for oil. If that area gets locked down, energy markets worldwide feel it instantly. Iranian media reported blasts in Isfahan, Qum, Karaj, Kermanshah, and Tabriz. Sources claim senior Iranian officials were among the primary targets of the first wave of U.S.-Israeli strikes. U.S. officials told media the strikes are focused strictly on military targets, launched by air and sea. But Iran says the response will be crushing. Israel's defense minister said this was a preemptive strike to remove what he called an existential threat. Israeli officials claim the operation had been planned months ago, coordinated closely with Washington, and that more days of strikes are already lined up. Inside Iran, mobile networks were reportedly cut in parts of Tehran, internet access weakened, and monitoring groups described it as a near-total media blackout. Israel has shut schools, workplaces, except essential sectors, and closed its airspace to civilian flights. Airports, don't even bother going, authorities told the public to stay away. This latest escalation follows a 12-day air war between Israel and Iran back in June. Despite renewed U.S.-Iran talks earlier this year aimed at resolving the nuclear dispute, diplomacy now looks seriously shaky. Israel insists any deal must dismantle Iran's nuclear infrastructure entirely, not just pause uranium enrichment, and wants missile restrictions included too. Iran denies ever seeking nuclear weapons, but says it will defend itself against any aggression. Back in June, the U.S. directly joined Israeli strikes on Iranian nuclear facilities, the most direct American military action against Iran ever. Iran retaliated by firing missiles toward Al Udeid base in Qatar. Now we're seeing round two, and it's bigger. U.S. President Donald Trump addressed the nation, saying America is conducting major operations in Iran to eliminate immediate threats. He insisted Iran can never have a nuclear weapon and warned that long-range missiles threaten U.S. security. He went further, saying the U.S. would destroy Iran's missile program and naval capabilities if necessary. He also warned of potential American casualties. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu called the joint operation necessary to remove what he described as an existential threat posed by the Iranian regime. Globally, reactions are pouring in. Britain said Iran, must never be allowed to develop nuclear weapons and reaffirmed support for a negotiated solution. U.S. embassies in Jerusalem, Bahrain, Qatar, and the UAE have ordered staff and citizens to shelter in place. In Qatar, Americans were told to duck and cover and prepare for possible missile impacts. Iraq has shut its airspace. Russia criticized the strikes, with senior official Dmitry Medvedev mocking Trump as a peacemaker and questioning America's long-term endurance compared to Persia's ancient civilization. Airlines like Lufthansa have suspended flights to Tel Aviv and Beirut. Regional airspace closures are already affecting global flight routes. Bottom line: the Middle East is on edge. Military operations are ongoing. Air defenses are active. Diplomacy is hanging by a thread. And if either side escalates further, this could shift from regional conflict to something a whole lot bigger. This story is still developing. Stay locked in.